So I'll just go over some of the anatomy real quick. Like we're gonna get into the gluteals, just a quick review. And then the stuff that we're doing with the hip and the pelvis is gonna influence the lumbar spine and particularly low back pain. So some people are kind of confused, like, I don't understand, like my low back hurts, why aren't you working on my low back? And I'm like, I use your legs as a handle to access your low back pain, and low back muscles. I'm using the leg as a handle to reach down into your hips and pelvis and address some of the root causes of that low back pain. And I dare say, it is why sometimes your massage therapist is not addressing low back pain effectively because you're not letting them work on your legs. I've heard therapists complain about it in massage forums sometimes. So really good work. Anybody can learn to do this. Again, right back into the hamstrings. And I think what I want to do just to soften Kristen up is start just on the gluteals themselves. You'll see me do this move again and again and again. Go ahead and lay on your back for me. And we're going to have like a trade. So it's 30 minutes give and receive with your partner. You know, the way this is designed is you work with us. So we want you to partner up, throw down a sleeping bag, or if you have a mat, use one. And you're going to come in and work on your partner while we're working. And Kristen is super sore because she does this thing called working out. And I keep telling her it's going to shorten her lifespan. I don't know why she wants to do that. Like, ew, work out. That's like get up early. Who wants to do that?
I did that too.
I've designed my whole life so I don't have to work out or get up early. That's nothing fun about that at all. So you'll see that my foot, like I'm reaching down and around. Maybe you can see it again from another angle. As I'm doing this, I've done this so many times, it looks like super easy, right? But as I'm going through, it's like my foot is turned to the side and I'm reaching down and kind of scooping into gluteal muscle, particularly gluteus medius, right there on the right side in the green. That guy is on the side and I'm trying to like reach down and grab. You'll see that my foot is down and it's like I grab tissue and then lift up. It starts to turn her pelvis. And once I get myself in position, I could usually just use my monstrously white calves to move her around.
I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
You gotta have a sense of humor. You don't want to shine too bright a light on me because it'll reflect and blind you. Right in there. That's why I can't work with Kristen. She makes me look, you know, tanned. Pale in comparison.
Yeah.
So her leg just kind of moves around. What this does is it gets this whole leg to just let go. A lot of people find this in particular to be really good for low back pain. It's one of the first things I do with people who tell me they have low back pain. Very common for me to use this almost immediately. Is it killing you, Kristen?
No, it feels great.
She's like, no, I am not dying.
I love it. I live long.
And then with my foot here, I was a little lower. Like I was definitely pressing into flesh, definitely pressing into tissue. But there's a little more room along her sacrum. I want to lift my foot just a little bit higher up towards her head and reach back again. There we go. So it's kind of like I found a new spot. If you had a big section of muscle, like along gluteus maximus, it was like I was going up the sacrum to another spot where the tissue still felt dense, so I could reach in there and work on that area, right in there. As you do this, just communicate with your partner. Ask them, it's totally fine if they say it's too sharp, you try to broaden it, you try to use a broad structure, a broad foot, instead of something sharp and pointy. And then I'm gonna switch, hopping up, going to the other side. This also gives me practice on being ambidextrous and using each side of my body just about equally. You're gonna, again, you'll see my foot's to the side. I'm gonna reach down and up. How's that in there?
Good.
Good, okay. I can scoot my keister in if I need to. How's that? In my case, usually I can get my leg straight, and this usually feels the best to me, to be able to have my leg out straight, just so I can use my calf to be able to move her there. This softened pretty rapidly, so I'm gonna scoot in and like find just a slightly different spot, a little closer to her sacrum, and that was a little tighter. As I was reaching into those gluteal muscles, you look at gluteus maximus, you see that V in the center of the sacrum. That's the edge that I'm going and pressing into. I'm really working all of that tissue right around the sacrum. Even though this looks like it's just from the side, any of the tissue around the greater trochanter, it's like the bony knob on the hip, anything that's fleshy around it is like gold. There's nothing bad about receiving gluteal work this way. A lot of people need it. Even if somebody doesn't have low back pain, but they sit in an office chair all day, tons of like limited mobility through this area. I'm going to put her down again, reach back and over. This is almost at her tailbone. I can feel the ball pad on my foot pressing right at the lower portion of that V, right on that right side. She's even making noise. She's getting an abrasion on the bottom of her foot because it's flopping back and forth on the sheet. If you had like an accordion structure and something on her foot, you could make, music like this in your session if you really wanted to. You got to have a sense of humor, keep it live.